Hi, I'm Stefan and this is my son Julius.
Hello, my name is Julius. I've been playing golf for 5 years and I've lived in Malaysia for 7 years.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 14 years old.
Okay, and where did you live before Malaysia?
I lived in China and I was born in Germany.
Okay, and last question, why do you play golf?
Because it's fun.
Okay, perfect answer.
Welcome to the vlog, guys. Today we have special guest Julius as our little star for the day. As you can tell, he is a 14-year-old junior and his father Stefan actually reached out to me as he watches my vlogs and he was wanting some on-course guidance for Julius' game. So this is my first time watching Julius play golf. I've never seen him hit a full swing at all except some chipping prior to this round. So we are going to I'm going to walk you through 9 holes. I'm going to let you guys know some observations that I make. So to be clear, I told Stefan that I won't be working on any swing mechanics. If anything, maybe some short game tips, but I will not be working with his swing at all. So this will solely be around the course management, the mental side of the game, and basically seeing if I can help Julius with his game without changing his swing. So Julius has been playing golf for 5 years. He goes to a coaching program at TPC, and so he does have some kind of mentor. So I do not want to work with his swing mechanics, especially not on the golf course. So let's see how I can help Julius and his game. As you might have already noticed from the first hole, Julius actually does not have anything longer than a hybrid. So he's teeing off with a 4-iron here, as he did with the first hole as well. And the reason why is he actually broke his driver, so he won't have a driver for this round, and he actually does not carry other kind of woods, so no 3-wood and no 5-wood. So his longest club in his bag is a hybrid, which he says goes about 185 meters. So what I really wanted to focus on is, number one, I wanted to know the kind of player that Julius is. As I mentioned before, I have never met Julius before. This is my first day meeting him. So it was very interesting, first of all, to see the way he plays his game, but to also be able to pick his brain about his thought processes and the way he views golf. So he's a 14-year-old, but he has a very matured mind. The way if you have a conversation with him, you would know that he's definitely a very smart kid. One of the main issues that I start pointing out immediately and discussing with his dad is, I think that as somebody who likes to think a lot and be very analytical, he doesn't have the right tools in his tool belt to help manage his brain in the correct way. So even though he's thinking about a lot of things all the time, so he considers every single thing. He considers the way the ball sits in the grass, his lie, his distance, what club best suits him, all these things that we should be considering. He definitely does that. But other than that, he always considers the worst case scenario. So I think this is quite the contrary of many amateurs. Many amateurs are very aggressive and they don't really think. So for instance, par 3, they might just think, I'm going to go for the green and hope that I hit a good shot and try to make a birdie. Whereas Julius thinks of the worst case scenario. So even on a par 3, he might not necessarily aim for the pin or even for the green. He just goes for the widest part and tries to avoid all the troubles. So for instance, on a shot where he has a lot of hazard in front of him, like you're gonna see here, there's a whole ton of bunkers on the right side. What he's trying to do, rather than get it as close to the green as possible, as this is already his 3rd shot, he's just trying to avoid all the hazards. And the problem with that is he's really so hyper focused on all the hazards that he doesn't focus on the things that he actually should. So although he does consider all the things like his lie, his ball positioning, his ball condition, everything, once it's time to hit, he's thinking about the worst case scenario. So I definitely think that this is something that is not beneficial to him. And as somebody who is very analytical, the more he thinks about it, the more it starts playing in his mind, and it's definitely not going to help with his golf game. So we will talk a little bit about how I handle that and how I help Julius hit better shots with regards to his brain and the way he thinks in the back 9. But other things that I would like to point out is, as you can tell, he never really has a very positive body language. So he's quite one of the things that his dad says is he puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's quite a perfectionist. He likes to, even if So his average score, his dad says, is about 100, and his lowest score is 95. So even though he's not really playing a competition with anybody, he's just being competitive within himself, which is a good thing. He puts a lot of pressure on himself, so he doesn't even like to keep his own score. He writes on the score but doesn't like to accumulate it until he's done with the round, because he doesn't want to put unnecessary pressure on himself. And he admits that if he starts counting his score, he starts thinking about his score rather than what he should do. But I think even though he tries to do that by not counting his score, he's still very, very focused on the outcome. So he's very focused on the score rather than each shot one at a time and how he can get the score that he wants. So even if he's not counting up the scores, which I know a lot of people don't like to do, they don't like to count the scores because they don't want to think about the outcome. In your brain, at the back of your head, you still kind of know roughly what you're at. So yes, if it's beneficial to you to not count scores, that's fine. But I also think that especially a smart kid like Julius, he definitely knows roughly what he's shooting in the back of his mind. So even if you don't count your scores and you don't know exactly, there are better ways to tackle this. And the best way to do that is to be focusing on your shots rather than focus on the outcome and the score. And I always think it's great to give yourself pressure, because golf is a pressure-filled sport. There's always going to be pressure. So you do need to know how to handle that pressure well. So there are certain tips that I'm going to be giving Julius on the back nine, and we'll see how he handles that and whether it helps his game. As I said, I'm not going to be giving any swing mechanics, and it's all based on, well, a little bit of mental game and a little bit more of course management as well. But I do want him to play his game just with a little guidance from me. So let's see how it goes on the back nine.
So that tree over there, right? Okay. So I want you to tee up your ball, take a practice swing. Only one practice swing. And your practice swing, you finish it like visualizing your ball, going to the target. Just one practice swing, whether you want it behind or wherever you want it. Ball dropping there. Okay, now all I want you to think about is your target and hold your full through. How was that?
Very good, very on target.
How's your lie? Not bad, right?
Very good.
Okay, so obviously the pin is very tucked here, right? It's behind all those bunkers and there's not much room on the left side. So we're going to go for the right side, right? But how far right do we want to go?
I would aim for the behind bunker. The bunker which is right behind the green. Which you can see.
Okay, so the most right one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to pick a target that's just a little bit right of that. So you see that hedge over there?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to aim right at the right side of that hedge with the exact same pre-shot routine. So take your practice swing. Once you're ready, take your practice swing. Imagine it hitting the shot shape that you want straight over there. See it? Okay, think about the target, go, and don't forget to hold your follow through. It's 60 degree, right?
Yes.
You know how far this is?
Not really 15, 20 meters.
20 meters?
Oh, this 50, right?
Pretty far. It fins all the way behind. Okay, so we want to land it about, since you like numbers, I'll give you an exact number of where when you land.
Okay.
So all you have to think about is when you hit your practice shot, see yourself chipping it, see yourself visualize the ball landing up there, basically before the slope, and just letting the green do the job, right? Letting it roll out by itself. So the number I want you to think about when you're chipping is 35 meters. Okay? And that's your carry distance, not the total distance of it. So 35 land and let it roll out to 50. Got it? Let's try that. Do you have your target?
So my target is where the sand box is, something like this on the right view.
Okay. So let's pick a higher target. Let's go for that lamppost right in front of it. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, one practice swing. Visualize your shot. See it. Think of your target and don't forget to hold your follow through.
It's a bit right. So the ball actually has a chance of getting through. Since there is a slope behind it.
60. Okay. So you know that it's downhill, right?
Yeah.
And where do you think the slope is? Do you think the slope is right? Because you said you're going to aim right. It's holding this way. You see how the water is that way and this entire hole is this way? So naturally it tends to be down. So, yes. So I think your target, so where you should carry the ball is right around here.
Okay.
And just let it move south. Because we don't want to try to go over and have a downhill putt from there. It's better to just have an uphill putt, right? So just hit your practice shot. Focus on that spot. Good contact, and then go. It's okay. Enjoy your practicing. Visualize it. 360 or do you want to use the normal?
That's 360.
Okay, then let's land it on the flat. You see the flat area? Right where you got